Welcome to this week's college show. Today we have some special treats. We have some special guests. Raghav Kumar as the editor of Everything Matters. How are you?
I'm
It's an
good.
honor to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Raghav, as an editor, tell me about what you think about the book.
Well, most books that I read when I'm editing normally take forever because I don't really enjoy them. But this book I read in a couple of hours just in one sitting because it was so good.
I see. Why don't you introduce a bit about the character of the book?
Okay, well, this book has a lot of characters. The main character of this book is a kid named, well, he starts off as a kid, and his name in the book is Junior. And the thing about Junior is that he hears voices in his head telling him, well, initially they tell him that the world's gonna end, but they also can tell, they pretty much know everything. They tell him loads of random information. And then, so another main character, or many main characters are his family, which are his mom, dad, and brother. His mom's name is Debbie, and she has an alcohol problem. And his dad's name is John, and he's pretty much like a role model to the kids. And his brother's name is Rodney, who grows up to be a famous baseball player, but earlier in his childhood had some problems with drugs and had to go to rehab.
Seems like a crazy family going on.
Yeah, and then apart from that, there's also Amy, who's Junior's girlfriend and who is the love of Junior's life.
I see.
But throughout the book, there are other important characters as well that are introduced. For example, Reggie, who is a paraplegic and ends up blowing up a building because he feels that they're not being treated equally by the government.
Dang, no, I see.
Yeah, so there's also like government agents such as the character Sawyer, who's like super mysterious and we don't know much about him except that he's part of some super secret government organization trying to save the world.
I see. So, as an editor, I'm sure you read the book already after you edited it and stuff. So, tell me, what do you like about it?
Well, the thing about this book is there are loads of different perspectives. Each chapter is told from a different character's perspective, and that really gets you, like, introduces you well to each character so you know a lot about them. And also there are a lot of important life lessons this book can teach you.
Great stuff. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back soon with our special guest, the author of the book, Everything Matters, Ron Curie, Jr. It's buy one, get one free time this week for purchasing Ron Curie Jr.'s very own Alex Award-winning novel, Everything Matters. That's right. Buy this book and you'll get another of its called God is Dead, a Young Lions Fiction Award for free. They also are sold in bookstores for $30, but if you call now today, you'll pay only half the price, along with a free book. Quick, make your order today while stocks last. To order, call 333-333-333. That is 333-333-333. Remember, you'll receive a free book along with the product. Welcome back, guys. Sitting with me is a very special guest, Ron Curie Jr., the author of the book Everything Matters. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to be on the show.
So, why don't you introduce you to us, and the book, of course.
Yeah, sure. Well, I was born and currently live in Waterville, Maine, and my first book is God is Dead, which won the Young Lions Fiction Award and the Addison M. McCullough Award. And you can go check out that book, but I'm here to talk about my debut novel, Everything Matters, and it's been translated in a dozen languages and it's won the Alex Award.
So, what did you have in mind when you were writing the book at first?
Well, this book, Everything Matters, is the story of Junior, who hears a voice in his head which tells him about the future and the past. And he knows that the world will end on June 15, 2010 at 3:54 p.m. And right when he will turn 37. So imagine living your whole life with the knowledge that everyone and yourself will die very soon, and you know when you're going to die.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. So Junior lives his whole life with the mindset that nothing he does or says matters because he's going to die and everything will end soon. So on top of that, he breaks up with his beloved girlfriend, Amy, which leads him into extreme depression. So he turns into an alcoholic, and he even almost thinks about bombing a building. So he goes to the really extreme.
Very demoralizing.
Yeah.
Yet
But-
very interesting.
Yeah, but Junior isn't your typical guy. He, In fact, he found a cure for cancer in around under a week. He's the third smartest person in the world, according to what I wrote. And so, will he save the world from its end? What if Junior could go back in time and decide at which point of his life he wanted to be in? I don't want to spoil the ending for you, so if you want to find out, you're gonna have to check out my book, and you'll find out how Junior discovers that everything does matter. So the book also involves issues and problems which occur in the family of Junior. Like the editor said, his brother is a drug addict at a young age, his mom is an alcoholic, and Junior also becomes an alcoholic after the breakup with the girl he loves. And each chapter is a different point of view of the different characters, so that readers build a connection with each character. So I thought that was important, so that the reader builds a connection with the characters. And I recommend this book to everyone, and I hope that you all pick up the copy. This book can actually change the way you view your life. Like Junior, we all know that we're going to die someday. So instead of having the mindset that nothing matters, because we will die anyways, this book will show you why everything does indeed matter.
Very well written.
Yeah, thank you.
I will read it soon.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Stay tuned. After the break, we'll have a very special guest with us, a member of the Alice Award committee, Fidela Donegan.
Go on! Oh, double D. They look so good, I just want to fight them. Oh, I just want a handful.
Welcome back, guys. So Fidela, why don't you tell us a little about the award?
Sure, so the Alex Award started in 1998, and since then it's been giving out 10 awards annually to books that are written for adults with an emphasis and an appeal to young adults aged 12 to 18. And the winning titles are selected from the previous year's publishing.
So what makes a book eligible for this award?
Well, first of all, anyone can nominate. You just go to the ALA website and then fill out the nominations page. But at the end of the day, I think it's up to the chair members to verify the eligibility of the novels. The book has to have been published in the United States. If it was first published outside of the United States, the date that we put into account is the date at which it was first published in the States. Works of joint workmanship or editorship is eligible, and when we assess the books that from the nominations that we have received, the members really assess the book's language, the plot, the style, the setting, the dialogue, and the characterization, and we make sure that it really appeals to teenagers. The book must receive the majority vote from the official nomination list to be able to place in the top 10 winning list.
Wow, very, very complicated. So, more specifically, what qualifies Everything Matters as an Alex Award winner?
Okay, well, first of all, let me just add on to what Mr. Kumar and the author himself said about the different perspectives, the different point of views that we see from every chapter. I think that's very important because when we're dealing with teenagers, it's important to keep them focused and engaged. And if they're not focused and engaged when reading the book, they'll get confused from all the different perspectives that the chapters give. But at the same time, that gives you like really deep characterization. You really get to know the characters. So I think that's very important. And also, the book talks about issues such as sex and alcohol and drugs, and that really appeals to teenagers. But not only that, the book really gives you sort of a good moral perspective of these things. Because here you have Rodney, who was a drug addict at 9. He went to rehab, cleaned himself up, and then he became a millionaire by playing baseball for the Chicago Cubs. And then you have Rodney's parents, who won the lottery, became millionaires, but then they remain living a very humble life. And so that sort of tells the audience that money doesn't buy you happiness, and that not everything in life is about money. So I think they touch on taboo topics, but sends out a really good message to the young readers out there. Also, these messages are like what your parents would tell you, and they're common and they're cliched. But I think Ron Carey Jr. presents it in a very non-cliched, sort of original manner. So I think that's important. That's an important factor to why book won the award.
Well, thank you for your time. That's all we have for now today. Tune in next show for another special guest, J.K. Rowling.